Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. You got me and John again with Comic Book Collectibles here on the experience. So,
My bonus for the year
John,
is it?
and if you watch our show regularly, you know that John feels that Batman may be slightly overexposed. So, in response to that, and in celebration of Batman Day, which I believe is this Saturday,
I think it is this Saturday.
we've got nothing but Batman. No, that's not true. We have a variety, but we are heavy in Batman today. But
well, in all fairness, it is Batman Day on like you said, I think Saturday. So
we didn't tell John because we were afraid John wasn't going to come in and do the show. So so we didn't say anything. And he takes one look and he's like, "Well, what is all this?" Okay. So to kind of ease John's mind, all right, just remind everybody to join us. Here, you're closer. To join us on Friday from 7 to 8 Eastern for the original art show. We are previewing this Green Hornet
year one
original art. As you may or may not know, John is a massive Green Hornet fan. Okay, he won't stop talking about Green Hornet.
I tell people this without a shred of embarrassment. I used to host a Green Hornet forum when Comcast used to have their chat rooms, probably late 90s, early 2000s. And I used to have the webcam on, and then I used to have the episodes of the Green Hornet TV show playing in the background.
Give me the original art before it disappears. I don't trust you. So, New Comic Book Day.
My favorite day of the week. It's New
Comic
Comic Book Day.
Can you grab this before John walks away with it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Can you guard it? Guard it.
You can just leave that in my car. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
seriously,
pull that stun gun out of your purse.
I know, right?
Ron's wife.
Seriously though, Friday, the original art show, really cool stuff. I tell people it's always worth it to at least check it out. I mean, I understand. Right now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, every piece of original art, $6,000." First of all, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
Some are, and I'll be,
some are more.
Some are more. But there are a lot of pieces of art on the original art show on Friday that people have gotten great $200, $300, $400 claims with. I got one from Spencer Beck, who's
I absolutely listen. If we get a lot of viewers. Not everybody buys. Original art is not the cheapest thing in the world, obviously. But
no, in collectibles we've talked about this. Yeah. That's the upper end of the sort of
But it's a great show if you want to see original art, if you want to discuss with us and Nick and I and soon to be John again, about original art. It's a great show to watch.
Oh yeah.
And if you're a buyer or you're somebody that's thinking about getting into original art, it's a great show to watch.
And the way Nick does it is it's almost like, how when you're trying to figure out how to do something, you'll hit YouTube and look at a video, right? Like how to change a doorknob or whatever. Nick kind of walks you through a little bit. He's been in the collectible business for 40 years, 30-something years. He kind of walks you through how you decide which art pieces you want, when to get them. It's not like he just holds up a page.
But Nick has no clue how to change a doorknob, though.
That might be. That being said, what Nick does know how to do is publish some of my favorite comics. Today's the day they dropped. 3 books today are probably our top, I wouldn't even say our top female talents. I'll say our top talents. I'll take my Green Hornet-ness out of this and say the top 3 books that Dynamite probably consistently publishes are Vampirella, Betty Page, and Red Sonja. Not to slight Elvira in any way, but that doesn't always regularly publish. Elvira is sort of seasonal. Right. I love what, the Daves do, Juan Samu. They do great stuff with Elvira, especially right now with the book that came out last week, Elvira and the Ghost of Vincent Price. However, these things come out seasonally. There's like a holiday special, a Halloween special, a 4-shot, and then it goes. Pretty much Red Sonja, Betty Page, and Vampirella have been published, I'm going to say almost as long as I've been reading Dynamite Comics, and that's 16 years. So, those are sort of to me, those are in the rotation, right, as a baseball term. This week is the Invincible Red Sonja #4. Some really cool, one of the things I absolutely love too, and maybe this is me being a fanboy, but I love variant covers. I love multiple covers. I love options. Right? Fan old man, fan poppy. one of my favorite artists, Joseph Michael Linsner. Invincible Red Sonja #4. Frank Cho.
And let me give a shout out to Jeff. Jeff, thanks for joining us. And you are right. Original art are one of one pieces.
Yeah, everything with original art is pretty much one of one. Frank Cho, absolutely love this cover. He's got her saying, "Damn it, I hate wearing this metal bikini in a thunderstorm." We have a cosplay cover. And right now, I have a few cosplayer friends on social media. Red Sonja's hot. Red Sonja, they're all sort of looking at the wigs, dyeing their hair.
Right.
A couple of the pro wrestlers, that one in particular, Kylan King, she'll be, I think, she was on TV last night. She was on YouTube last night on AEW Dark. She's been, she's been mentioned a few times. She's like 6'1". She's in the gym like every day. She knows how to handle herself. She's posted some cosplay photos from like Ren fairs. And I'll tell you right now, at some point, I can easily see her migrating from pro wrestling to cosplay, which is all sort of performance theater.
Sort of, yeah, sort of.
I mean, I understand in cosplay, nobody's got to jump, off a table or through a table
and punch you in the mouth.
And punch you in the mouth. But we just have these great, and this cover in particular, this is Amanda Connor, man. I wonder if she just called this Red Sonja Smash in her. There is very much like a gamma vibe going on in here. Next book we have is Betty Page #4. Stephen Mooney is. There was a period of time where it was hard for me to find books that I liked, and Stephen Mooney did Half Past Danger, and it was almost like a little bit of like a light in the dark, because I'm a big pulp fan. I tend to like stuff set in. I like period comics.
Right.
I like stuff kind of set from maybe like the 80s to the 30s. Obviously, I like the Old West because I read Lone Ranger. Stephen Mooney sort of channeled that World War II era, and he just did an amazing job with Half Past Danger. And then there was a sequel. I can't remember the name of it. He is now doing Betty Page, Curse of the Banshee. This thing is just super. This is a lot of fun, and this is him. Stephen Mooney isn't just a writer. If I understand correctly, this is his artwork. We have multiple covers here.
Wow.
But I think this is Mooney's cover. And then we have Marat Michaels. I mean, let's be honest. It's easy for these guys to make Betty Page look good because they're already starting. I'm certainly not disrespecting any artist's work. These people are genius creators. But when you're starting at Betty Page, it's a little bit easier than if they're starting with me. They got to make me look good. That I got to believe that's rolling up your sleeves. And
we'll talk about that later.
We have a photo cover for Curse of the Banshee. We have a cosplay version of
T-Pain. How you doing, Ron? It's always proof of life.
Ron.
It's always nice to hear from you, Ron.
And then I don't want to see Joseph Michael Linsner as like the house artist, but he's done a lot of stuff at Dynamite that's just drop dead gorgeous. Yes. And of course, this is no exception. Especially Red Sonja. Red Sonja was sold out, I believe, at the distributor level. So absolutely make sure, if you didn't have these on your pull list, if you didn't pick them up today, get a hold of your retailer, your local comic book shop, ASAP, and say, hey, look, Rex and John said this book is good. I really.
And they're more than likely going to say, who?
I know, right? Come on. And this is a book that, back when I used to role play, I actually created this, and I'm not really getting the credit I deserve. I invented this in like the late 80s and early 90s.
Talk to Nick.
I know. GURPS is an old role-playing game. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. One of the things I did was I created as the game master, I created...
Ron wants to know if there's a reader pack tonight. I think that there is. Did we put a reader pack in here?
Ron, if we don't have a reader pack in here...
We're going to do one anyway.
We're going to do one anyway.
We're just going to make one up?
It might take us a few minutes to put one together, but I love reader packs. If you want one will be up here one way or another.
I know that I'm pretty sure Ron bought one before, so we'll have to.
All kidding aside,
put one up for him.
Everybody has done this. Every person since the Age of What If, which dropped tonight, I watched it this morning. No spoilers, but everybody should be watching What If, like the minute it comes out. Don't worry about work or school. Let your kid cry. Kids always
cry. From the man who's already retired. Yeah, don't worry about work or school or anything like that. Be like John. Get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the next episode.
Sort of channeling the energy from Sonyversal, which, you know, has probably made Nick 100 air within sales. We have Vampirella. This is Tom Stigowski. You know what? I don't necessarily want to call Tom. I don't want to put words in Tom's mouth. I refer to him as the steward of Vampirella. Many other creators have worked on Vampirella. Nancy Collins. People have done really good work. But Tom Stigowski, I might be wrong, and if I am, I apologize to the creators. I think Tom Stigowski's worked on Vampirella the longest. It's got to be 20 plus years.
Right.
And for someone like me who's been reading Vampirella almost 40 years, half of that run, you know, I've ridden with Tom.
Right,
and he gets it. You know, I mean, he really just kind of intuitively reaches out in the force. He gets who Vampirella is. However, who Vampirella is kind of changes in 2021. Just the way it did in 2020 with Sonyversal. Vampirella #1, and you're going to see versions of Vampirella, which we've done altered states here, which remains one of my favorite things and one of the top 5 things I nag Nick about incessantly. Poor guy. It's sort of like Dynamite's take on What If,
right?
Or, you know, Elseworlds. Vampirella is a much better fleshed out imagining of just altered states were one-shots. You know what I mean? It was like, what if Doc Savage was the stupidest man in the world, not the smartest man in the world? Yeah, kind of. This is like a whole series. Adam Hughes cover. We have a cosplay cover for this, which is just... And I think this one is maybe Steven Segovia. Am I right here? I think this one is Steven Segovia. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, well, first of all, this one's mine. And second of all, this one is Maria Sinopo, I think.
Bye, Mariana.
Bye, Mariana. And this one really kind of calls back to, actually kind of exchanged a little back and forth with Tom on Twitter. This cover in particular really channels Bill Willingham's Legendary, which was sort of like a steampunk imagining of the Dynamite universe, which we should still be printing 10 years later. I'm not sure why I've ever stopped printing that, but remind me to talk to Nick. I'm afraid people are watching this and they think, yeah, that dude just nags Nick all day to publish books. Rex would probably say that's about 50% right. Half the communication I have with Nick is, hey, what's up, dude? Let's get a drink. And the other half is,
you should do this with Green Hornet.
You should have done this with Green Hornet. So that level of business taken care of. Right now, Dynamite's just in that kind of arc, that sweet spot creatively, where they've got the right people on the right books. You know what I mean? And I just sort of, and I'll be honest with you, if I really wasn't enjoying these books, I would let Rex tell you to buy these, and I would just sit here and glare unhappily at all the Batman up here. But that being said, segue. Thanks for people who are joining us, of course, people who join us throughout the show. Saturday, I think, is National Batman Day.
I believe it is, and we put all this up here to show you how underexposed Batman is.
Oh my God, it's like.
What would you like to start with?
Apparently, Yom Kippur is like Hebrew for overexposed character. I just can't. But no,
what would you like to start with?
You know what? To lessen the blow, we will start with Dark Knight 3 Master Race. Ken Hazer, obviously Frank Miller, we've talked about this before. Frank Miller sort of changed, you know. There's been like a few major upheavals in comics over the years. You had Alan Moore do it with Watchmen. You had Frank Miller do it with Dark Knight. You had Wolfman and Perez do it with Crisis. Here's Ken Hazer. These are dual blank variant set, remarked by Ken Hazer. This is written by Miller and Brian Azzarello. I'm going to try to hold this together so you can kind of get the full effect. Superman and Batman, the way they appear in.
Is it a little bit more palatable that Superman's there?
It is a little bit more palatable. Also, I kind of really, people were not kind when Miller came back to do Dark Knight. I remember they were not kind.
Right. And
they had to eat a whole big bunch of humble pie because he came out swinging and bringing it just because, just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean there's not fire in the furnace or whatever old guys say now.
So if you look, Superman's hair extends. You know it's a collecting cover, a dual cover, connecting cover.
This is just a really, really cool set.
So Dark Knight #3, the Master Race #1, dual blank variant set, signed and remarked by Ken Hazer. We're big Ken Hazer fans. It's one of those things that he does a lot of with connecting covers. Suggested retail of $176, and we have it tonight for $100. And the $100 is for the pair. So, again, we love Ken Hazer.
We love Ken Hazer. We talk a lot about how remarks are the great middle ground between original art, which can be pricey, hard to transport, hard to obtain, and collectibles.
Well, to kind of answer Jeff's question, or not really a question, but that was a statement about original art, the same thing applies to the sketch cover remarks. So they truly are one of one.
Oh, yeah, this is it. You're basically looking at, there's two, he grabbed the whole of the two blanks, and this is what he did with it.
Let's turn one of these lights off. There we go. Look.
Oh, there we go.
The reflection's gone.
Put this up here again so people can see. $100 for this is criminally low. I'll tell you right now. I had to double check to make sure that was right.
It's right. It's on the sheet. It's got to be right. So
it's on the sheet.
So $100 for the pair, not one. All right. So we have one set tonight. So let's go. Let's go. Next one. What do you think?
This is really nice.
And don't forget, we got a ton of vintage tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a little bit.
See, he is a secret Batman fan. See, both items are Batman.
You know what?
I did kind of seed the whole thing by putting so much Batman that he almost can't. He's got to really look to find something not Batman.
Rex thought that this would be funny to have me do Batman.
It's funny for me, my friend.
What he's not prepared.
Oh, hello.
What he's not prepared for was.
I did not see that coming, John.
You did not see that coming. I will not be wearing this all night, but I did want to.
Where's the rest of the suit?
I grew out of it.
I swear, I did not see. He did not warn me about this. I had no inkling that he was going to do this.
I really hope the publisher is watching this and seeing the lengths I go to try to sell books for him. This is Dark Knight's Metal #1. This is sketch art.
We should have the Batman theme. I don't care which version.
Oh, no. This is this really cool kind of...
I'm sorry, I can't.
This is this really cool kind of virgin blue variant that they did.
I don't even know what you got there, dude. I can't focus.
Greg Capullo. This is signed. It's Silver Signature Series.
Read it off. What is it? The Dark Metal?
Dark Knight's Metal #1.
I can't even focus right now. Oh my God, I can't believe
there are very few of these. So I'm going to guess that this is not cheap, but this is really, really cool.
Dark Metal #1 Ultra Limited Comic Sketch Art Virgin.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, the blue variant. Cover, okay, signed by Scott Schneider and Greg Capullo. I'm completely like flabbergasted.
All right.
Yeah, I can't even look at you. We have one available at $59.99.
Yeah.
So no trade dress. Signed by both Scott Schneider and Greg Capullo.
Yeah, I mean that's the Silver Signature Series, and to be honest, you can't even look. I can do the whole show.
I don't even know what the hell we're talking about anymore.
I do the whole show like this. I will not though, because this thing is warm. Just a little fun to celebrate.
Oh man,
Batman Day on Saturday. We're gonna do one more.
Are you watching this, Amy?
Oh, every second.
No, every second. we are going to do one more sort of Batman-specific thing, and then we're going to hop around. We'll hop back and forth, and we'll sort of do different things. I'm surprised that the comments aren't flying in from guys like Ron and Dave. And
well, Ron, this is totally Ron. Ron is not reacting. He's living on limited time. All right, so he wants us to show the remark second from my right. How do we know what your right is, Ron?
You might mean this.
Ron, let us know which one. All right. So, and the Cape Crusader here will pull it for you.
Yeah, right. In the meantime, Detective Comics 1000. This is a DF exclusive. The pencil sketch art variant, front and back. Dan Jurgens, who you might have heard his name. This is 9.8 slab.
CGC graded. Okay.
CGC graded. The Dynamic Forces version is so cool here. All the sort of different Batman through the years.
So let me read that off real quick.
Read this off, and then we'll get to whatever.
Detective Comics number 1000, DF exclusive pencil sketch art variant, cover by Dan Jurgens, ultra limited, guaranteed CGC graded 9.8.
There's only one, right? So this is what you're getting.
This is what you're getting. Suggested retail of $270, and we have tonight for $193.80 for Action number 1 in 1939. So, Ron, you want the Batman one here. I just want to be sure. Okay? With the red background. Never mind. I didn't catch that one. So
this is sort of like the...
So, gotcha. Okay. So, let me find it. Which one is that?
This is Detective Comics 1000. This is a Ken Heiser remark. I'm pretty sure this is maybe the Lucius Fox version of Batman, which is maybe Batman Next. All jokes aside, I do kind of poke a little fun at Batman being overexposed. I would say he's overexposed, but he's used quite a bit. There's different versions of the character. Different people wear the mantle of the Bat.
So Detective Comics number 1000, signed and remarked with an Arkham Knight sketch by Ken Heiser. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have tonight our 5-star read at $50.
I'll tell you right now, for $50, that's...
Well, yeah, I mean, I just, it's the Ken.
You know what? Are these all $50? Maybe we'll show these all at once.
They are.
They are. I think what we're going to do is we're going to blow through all three of these. This one is Ken Heiser Remark and Silver Signature Series.
Also at $50, and then we have two of them.
We have two of these. We have the different.
But as we said, I mean,
Heiser does this a lot. He does different characters throughout the ages. He does different. We've seen different versions of Punchline. We have seen different versions of Harley Quinn. Here you're seeing sort of a Batman.
We're seeing a different version of Batman live on the air.
Right.
Took you that long to notice?
No, this is how long he can stop laughing and get up from his chair and come out here.
Okay, so Ron is claiming the DK3 dual remark set for $100 and Detective Comics Arkham Knight. Okay, got it. All right, so Amy, can we get those little sold out?
Yeah, we're gonna do
things, please.
And I'm sorry, what else did he claim? I'm sorry.
The
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
Okay.
Okay. So
I got to tell you, I'm going to hold this up real quick. This is so This is so well done.
And the Dark Knight 3, the set.
I have to tell you, I'm glad somebody bought the set because this is one of these deals where it's so cool. These we can throw these on here.
All right. So
now we get to the scene in the Batman movie where he always has to pull off the mask. Man, that thing is really warm. This is actually, you can see on the logo.
Join us next week when John shows up in the entire.
This is authentic Batman merch. I got this at a con in Chicago at least 10 years ago. C2E2, it was like -17. And people who were not from that part of the country were like, what is going on? Every door was like an airlock you walked through into space.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I looked around, and there was a guy who had like a bunch of these up on the wall. And that's sort of, I was like, okay, we're done. What we will do to have a little fun is we'll maybe put the mask on here, and we will check back with this a little bit later.
I can't even, dude. So
I'll tell you, if somebody buys that slab, they can have the mask.
Well, that just killed the sale on that one. You never know what might happen on the Comic Collectibles show.
You know what? Let's bounce around a little bit. Like Rex said, this is going to be a Batman heavy show. Saturday, I imagine the Friday show might have a little bit of a Batman flair as well. Saturday is the big day. I mean, Batman, even though I kind of poke fun a little bit, you can make the argument he's the most popular comic book character in the world. You know what I mean? So
most people would agree with that.
You've got to kind of give him his due. I mean, 80 years of everything from comic strips and movie serials, comic books. As far as I know, there is no medium in 8 decades that Batman has not dominated in some level, whether it's video game play or, even like fan films and fanfic. People, I remember 9 or 10 years ago, Batman versus Predator was like a fan film, and it had like 100,000 watches in a day. That being said, let's move on to
what do you got?
Batman's Marvelous Competition, Marvel Age. I believe
number 91.
This is number 91. I'm not sure. Is this? I think that, Eric Larson did like a sketch of himself in here.
So we have the one, and I think this might even come from Nick's personal collection. And we have this one tonight at $60.
This is just, I mean, some of the things in here, Fred Hembeck strip. This is sort of, this really kind of captures an age. These Marvel Age books, no pun intended. Thanos on the cover, really nice. I think there's like a Willie Lumpkin story in here.
It's in pretty nice shape. We didn't get a chance. I don't think we got a chance to do the grading thing that we normally do.
The Ron Lim cover. We did not go through the thing. I'm going to say, and this is just one person, I'm going to say that's at least a grade of a 5 or maybe.
But you're Batman.
That's one way. That's one way to put Green Lantern at the top of the DC.
Oh man, I think we got to go to break soon. But
is it?
Almost time. So I think we got a guest with us tonight, Skylar. I don't know if she's joined us yet, but if she has, Kyle, if you don't mind, bring her back after the break, and we'll chat a little bit.
When we come back, we're gonna do this, but I just want to hold this up as we're going after the break. Batman Beyond. They just are talking about this. There'll be yet a new Batman Beyond series. People are talking about Batman Beyond video game. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. And if you're any sort of fan of Batman Beyond, this is your time to make the move.
Even John likes this.
Don't wait until the new book and the new toys are out and then wonder why it's so much more expensive. We'll be back in a few minutes.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Oh,
and
wait,
Skylar.
I spy.
So Skylar's joining us tonight. She is part of the Team Dynamic Forces, Team Dynamite. It helps us with marketing and a bunch of other stuff. Thanks for joining us tonight, Skylar.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to be here. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine.
We can. I haven't seen Skylar probably since last year.
You haven't seen anybody except me.
It's been a while.
Last year.
And it has been a while. Yeah, I know it.
You go home, you go here, you post stuff about food, and you posted something today.
I did post out. You know what? I always imagine Nick wants the time stone so he can go back in time to when my wife says, "How about Laurel House?"
Hey, hold on, Skylar. We have a food delivery. We do.
No problem.
It's for the gentleman in there, but she'll take care of it. So
we're sorry to interrupt this high-level show with Nick's food delivery.
hold on one second.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
This show's making people hungry now because we talk about food and then we have people that just kind of bomb in to grab.
Hold on, we're still in the middle of the food
you're in front of the
transaction
camera. You're in front of the camera. We're sorry, everybody.
You not put a pit in there, right?
You're in front of the camera?
Hey, Skylar.
Hey, Skylar.
Hi.
What's happening in your day?
Nothing much, actually. I have just been doing some errands today and some cleaning and organizing my comics. So that's mainly what I've been doing.
So you saw the list tonight, so we'll bring you in and feel free to interject. As you can see, it's pretty
casual
loose here. Yeah, I'd say so. We'll let you know what the order is. We'll let you know what the order is. So what'd you order, Nick?
Dumplings, probably.
Vegetables and rice.
Thank you.
You're such a liar.
He's trying to pretend like he ate something healthy.
Say that again, Skylar?
I said, is he pretending like he ate something healthy?
Yeah, pretty much. We're not buying it. Okay. Usually it's pizza. The pizza guy knows the drill here. Okay. In the middle of the show, he just passes the pizza. The Chinese restaurant, the delivery was a little bit, but after Nick orders it 2 or 3 more times, I think we'll get how the flow goes.
You should let him have his own segment on the show too. Just be like, hey,
Ron, are you still there?
No.
Well, he just bought something, so his wife shocked him.
He's on the floor twitching.
So, all right. So, what do you want to go to next?
Well, I want to do this, and then we're going to try to move away from Batman a little bit because I know people have seen like a whole row of X-Men stuff. Like, dude, what are you doing?
But you're Batman.
Oh no, I am not. This is sort of, and this is going to be weird for me because again, I'm not a Batman fan. This might
because this show hasn't got weird enough weird already.
I know, right? This might be like the snag of the night. I use that term loosely, but this might actually be the buy of the night. This is Batman Beyond #1, signed by Dan Jurgens and Ken Hazer with a Ken Hazer remark. This is a blank variant, and I have to tell you.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're huge Ken Hazer fans. Awesome. I don't know if you know that, Skylar, but you will before the end of this show.
I actually have a punchline on a punchline sketch cover that he did. It's amazing.
Oh, I remember that. We had the different
versions. Yeah, we did. I think Ron may have walked away with that.
I think Ron walked away with one of those too. Let me just say this before Rex tells you what the price is. I just had this conversation yesterday with someone who watches the show in Instagram private message. They wanted to know essentially when is the best time to buy a comic. Well, you buy what you love and you're happy with your purchase. Right. Mm-hmm. However, if you're looking to buy, and I think we've had people before talk about this a little bit, but if you're looking to buy, I'm going to sort of bottom line this for you, right? Little spoiler alert. Today, before we came on the air, New Comic Book Day, they tend to drop a lot of news, right? They've talked about how there's going to be a whole new push, to use a pro wrestling term, of Batman Beyond. There will be a new series. They're working on his inclusion in one of the Batman video games. There's a lot of serious conversation that there might be an HBO Max series in 2023, because in 2022 they're doing some other level of, I don't know if it's going to be Nightwing or whatever, or maybe so Batman Beyond in the next 18 months to 2 years is going to be huge. The time for you to buy Batman Beyond collectibles, whether they're signed books, statues, original art, is before HBO announces when the show comes on.
Right.
Exactly.
Or DCU says, oh, hey, now enter this code and you can play as Batman Beyond. Now, I know there's already some skins for Batman Beyond or whatever, but Batman Beyond is about to get the big boy,
So, all right. So Batman Beyond is one.
I've even seen it trending at conventions, like people just wanting to pick up Batman Beyond stuff. So definitely jump on this one, because I've even seen people doing sketch covers and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely trending.
It was trending. It was actually trending on Twitter for a while today, which is, saying a lot, considers like everyone is on Twitter for everything. Batman Beyond was trending for a while.
So Batman Beyond, signed by Dan Jurgens and remarked by Ken Hazer, suggested retail of $49.99. I'm sorry, $99.99, and tonight we have it at $50, and we have the one.
Oh wow!
This is like one of these 5-star read type deals for $50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do not pass this up, especially if you are a Batman Beyond.
And Ron says, "Buy what your wife lets you buy,"
and that's fair enough. I mean, that's certainly for me, it was a.
For Ron, the stakes are much higher. He'd get stunned.
I'll tell you what really helped me out in my marriage after 20
Your wife
plus
doesn't
years.
have a stun gun?
No. Practically a Handmaid's Tale in my house. I'm not giving my wife anything that can hit.
And this is how you know John's wife is not watching the show, because I believe that not at all. Better put the mask on, Batman.
I know, right? The biggest thing I did was, before I really started thinking about asking my wife to marry me, I got into business with her brother, and I ingratiated myself to her parents.
So you bought your way in.
So I bought my way in. So, I still to this day make sure my father-in-law, who's still alive, we go on vacation, he's coming with us. So, when my wife thinks about, maybe I want to make a move for freedom, she's got her whole family holding her back.
Doesn't sound like Handmaid's Tale to me.
We had somebody claim the Batman Beyond. So
that's
awesome.
No, Skylar. He's a handmaid. All right, so T-Pain is claiming the Batman Beyond. Thank you, Skylar.
Yeah, no problem.
We're not very bright, and we get distracted very easily.
No, you're fine. I'm the same way. See, the thing with me is I'm a comic book collector myself, and I like to collect statues too. So when you get two people together, like me and my boyfriend, there ends up being a house full of comics.
We should think about statues and stuff at some point. And
I mentioned
we should really raise the excitement level, because we'll let you handle it.
You know what? I think like the first show Nick and I did, we had that monstrous Evil Ernie thing here.
Right. I remember.
Thing
oh, yeah.
3.5 feet tall. It's super.
Just think how exciting that'll be. You'll be holding it.
You know what? If
$500, and then you drop it.
If Nick
$150.
Immediate discount, 50% off.
If it wasn't here, I'd go to the back and I'd grab a Vampirella statue and say, we'll start the bidding at 500 quatloos, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Oh,
T-Pain, I'll tell you right now, that not only is the cover great, but a year and a half from now, you are going to be super happy when you have that, because like cocktail napkins with a sketch of Batman Beyond will be $300. And everybody will be upset, like, oh man, what happened to Batman Beyond? Guys, spoiler alert, it happens with every character. If you want collectibles, you kind of make your move. Fantastic Four. Buy the Fantastic Four now. Last month, Marvel Studios created a Fantastic Four account.
Right.
That is the kind of spoiler alert to let you know there'll be movies, video games, animated series, whatever, merch. So get the books now. We've had the Fantastic Four here quite a bit. We've sold quite a few of the Silver Age stuff, a little bit of the Bronze Age stuff. If you're trying to fill up your Fantastic Four collection, don't wait until Marvel Studios Fantastic Four is in theaters in 2024 and be like, oh,
and it
man,
turns out to actually be a good Fantastic Four
it will
movie.
be.
Let's hope so.
Marvel wants to integrate everything, and they can't have, you know what I mean? You can't put terrible gas in a nice car. And so I think you
can.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Proven by the last FF movie.
Speaking of something else that Marvel has to sort of fix, I understand these X-Men movies were more financially successful, at least some of them. The last several were...
They beat the dead horse.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Simpsons gif. Stop, it's dead already. Dark Phoenix, maybe we shouldn't really discuss at all.
No.
It's
such a not so great movie.
Well, it's just, you know what? When we got those first couple X-Men movies, it kicked off the 21st century superhero cinema thing. And you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. You got Patrick Stewart, you got Hugh Jackman, you got Ian McKellen. And then what happens is, like you keep watering down the product until we've got like the actress from Game of Thrones with no script support. Like they just put her out there in red hair and said, hey, take care of this. And she's coming from an environment to Game of Thrones, which is fully supported.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I always, and I'll probably get some pushback on this, but I always thought her acting was, even in Game of Thrones. She was the most two-dimensional kind of character. I don't know if that was necessarily script related, but
it might have been. I mean, some people just don't have those kind of in-your-face performances either.
Maybe you might be right.
Definitely didn't think she was a good fit for Jean at all. No, I was not happy when they picked her. So
hard role to cast, I think. I mean,
Jean Grey. I mean, you know what? I'm old enough to remember people weren't fond of. Oh God, what's her name? Who played Jean Grey?
Yeah.
Her last name.
People were not fond of her. People were screaming for Dina Meyer, but she was not quite the box office name. And then there was a whole thing of, well, forget the red hair. Let's just find the right actress and dye her hair red or put a wig on. Whatever the actress is comfortable with. And so that led to even more insane. Rebecca Romijn, who played Mystique originally, talked about that. She's like, there was just these endless conversations about Jean Grey. Like, she's too young, she's too old, she's not right. Jean Grey's hard, just like they're having trouble with the Invisible Woman. I think there's tons of guys that they're like, okay, you're kind of that mix of smart and dorky. We could get you to be Mr. Fantastic. Invisible Woman is very different. That started as a two-dimensional character, and now she's considered the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
She's been in the Avengers. She's rolled with the Inhumans. That's going to be tough. That's not going to be an easy cast for them.
Right.
Well, I would agree.
Plus, the guy who's Mr. Fantastic, we got to believe they're married, or at least that's like the rub of the show, right? It's like
let's see how this goes. I don't know.
Looks like we have somebody asking about Doctor Strange books. Do we have any?
Sheldon wants to see the Doctor Strange books. Up top.
Sure. All right. I was going to go to X-Men, but let's go to Doctor Strange. I like this.
And let me just double check. Amy, we don't have presumed grades, so she's not here.
No, Amy left. She's eating her Chinese food. What are you talking about? You don't eat.
We don't have presumed grades.
Amy's having her dumplings or something. We're not getting any food.
Doctor Strange.
It's not written down?
Nope.
Doctor Strange. So, are we not ready to do this?
Yeah, do it. Sheldon wants to see him.
This is Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme 54. Roy Thomas is one of my all-time favorite comic book writers.
At the price we have it here. All right, so we got Doctor Strange. Sheldon, this is for you, buddy. Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, number 54, and we have number 55 as well.
It's a two-part story?
Beats me.
They're Infinity Crusade crossovers. I got it. Okay.
So they are. So, okay. So, Doctor Strange, number 54, we have at $10 tonight.
Oh, wow.
And then 55, we also have at $10. So, Sheldon, if you're interested in picking them up, let us know if you want to claim them. They are $10 a piece. So
those perfect 10 reads, and that's not to speak to CGC grade.
Right.
That's to speak to, they're $10 each. People have loved these things. It's a great way to fill a collection, pick up something you didn't maybe have.
Right.
Well, I remember when Roy Thomas came back to write that. Roy Thomas once upon a time was considered Marvel's best writer, including Stan. Then, Roy sort of, he went the whole, like, the Jim Shootering of Marvel Comics. A lot of those people left. Roy did a bunch of independent stuff, moved away from this. He came back in sort of this 1990s period, early 2000s, doing Doctor Strange. And that's like the last guy you'd expect to see.
What do you think? I mean, with your eye, what do you think the presumed grades should be?
I'm going to say that I'm looking at these. I'm looking at the bindings, which are pretty clean. I'm looking at the color. I'm going to put these probably, you know what? I'm going.
A presumed grade. I don't remember what it is.
I'm going to put these. I'm not even going to say presumed grade because that means everyone's looked at it. My guesstimated grade would probably be, I'm going to say 5. They're in pretty nice shape. 5-ish. They're in pretty nice shape. That's even if people are thinking of having. If you have this thing cleaned and pressed, there's a good chance, and that. Of course, everybody deals with CGC. You could. It's a roulette wheel.
Right.
I know people who've sent books and it's a 7 and it comes back at a 4 and people are like furious. Based on what I've seen over the years of collecting comics, you get this thing out of its mylar. You get this thing pressed, cleaned, off the CGC. When it comes back to you a year from now, it's probably going to be 5-ish.
Right. Okay. So Sheldon. So we're saying 5-ish on presumed grade, but at $10 each, the Doctor Strange number 54 and number 55, the deals of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit, now that Batman Beyond is sort of off the table, I would say that's, for you to be able to grab a book that's even near 5 for $10, we're going to have, the value is going to go up because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness will come out. They're talking about a Doctor Strange will be featured more prominently in What If this year. They're already talking about doing a season of What If next year. Doctor Strange has sort of become the linchpin for the multiverse.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think the key becomes the success of the movies has translated into the collectability and value of a lot of these titles. And, we're starting to see that more and more. But what do you want to go to next?
I think we'll go to, if we don't have any requests to see anything, I think we'll go to the X-Men, which, in a bit of a segue, is kind of where the alternate reality thing started for Marvel. DC always had parallel worlds, dating back to, and Nick would love to tell you guys about, A Flash of Two Earths, right? But Marvel did not quite jump on that bandwagon until What If?
Right.
And then in their mainstream books, we're going to call it Days of Future Past and the X-Men. And then for the next 25 years, X-Men has become the home of grim and gritty alternate reality characters, different versions of Cable, you know what I mean? They sort of became the biggest cheerleaders for alternate reality. And I know we've had some alternate versions of other characters, but the X-Men seems to be where it all comes from. Even when they find like adult versions of Franklin Richards, he's always he's not really in a Fantastic Four. He's more of an X-Man. I mean, I remember when they did these things about 10, 12, 13 years ago, you've got an adult Franklin Richards. He's got the 4 logo and the X over it. So he's sort of like, in the one book, he's the leader of both the X-Men and the Fantastic Four because Franklin Richards has a ridiculous power.
All right, so what do we got there?
This is X-Men 232. I've looked these over, and anyone who's kind of wondering about, do we have the presumed grades for these?
For 232?
Yeah,
it is a presumed grade of 8.0.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I got a funny feeling.
And is that one signed as well?
It is. Does it say in the back who it's signed by?
I think this is signed by Mark Silvestri. I'm having trouble seeing this.
Amy, do we know Uncanny X-Men 232? Do we know who signed it?
It's very possible it's Mark Silvestri, but we never got a certificate to go with it.
All right, so to explain, these particular issues are part of Nick's personal collection, so we're thinking it's Mark Silvestri.
Being part of Nick's, I would, if somebody wants to go ask Nick, tell him to put down the shrimp pie now and maybe.
We have presumed grade of 8.0.
Is this Mark Silvestri, sir?
It may be Mark Silvestri. Actually, the X-Men, that row of X-Men, we just picked up. We bought it. Those are actually for the company. That one row is not for my collection.
Oh,
Okay. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
We always presume. Sorry,
This is the one time that it's not. The other stuff is.
all right. That's very confusing, Nick.
Yes.
I wonder if you could get somebody to verify the signature, like CGC or CBCS or anything like that.
It would be that
Well,
difficult.
we've got it tonight. We got one.
We're
20
not
bucks.
charging extra for the signatures.
Oh, yeah. Basically, you know what? In this case, you're getting a bonus. This is a signed book at a back issue price of $20.
So X-Men number 232, presumably signed by Mark Silvestri with a presumed grade of 8.0. So we have that tonight for 20. Oh, you know what? Throw up 231.
I was going to say we have the 233. Is 231 right?
Can we show the signature a little closer on camera?
Sure. Let me.
You got it there?
Let's see.
Also, I don't know if maybe somebody wants to take a picture of this and text it to someone who might know.
Oh, yeah.
Might have a stored image. Let's see here. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, see if you want to get a little closer, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can see that. But I want to do 231 because this is definitely the deal of the day. Find 231?
We do. We very much have the period cover. This is what, Rick Leonardi, I think?
Yeah, get that one out of the way. So Uncanny X-Men number 231.
Claremont, Rick Leonardi.
Presumed grade of 6.0. We have the one, $5.
Oh, wow.
That's why I wanted to just get it right out of the way.
This is like our equivalent of a dollar bin. It's $5.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in 231, it's $5 tonight. Presumed grade of 6.0.
Man, this is really kind of taking me back to Christmas issue. The X-Men always did these really cool kind of Christmas issues. Everybody remembers like Kitty Pryde running around being chased by the Brood. The Brood come back regularly. It's rumored that the Brood will be in the Marvel Studios version of the X-Men.
Right.
That seems to be out there in the ether. I don't know if maybe Skylar's heard a little bit more about that, or...
What have you heard, Skylar?
Come again. Sorry, you broke up for a second. I don't know if it's my internet connection or what.
No, it's okay.
No, I was saying that...
You can see we run a very tight
Yeah,
shop.
right.
Very professional.
No, you're fine. You're cutting in and out for me. So.
Delivery guy. I've been seeing here and there that the rumors are in the Marvel Studios version of the X-Men, the villain will be the Brood. So we've got some Brood books
Where
out
did
here.
you hear this from?
I've actually been hearing a lot of different things on YouTube because I watch people who basically take apart and like make theories and different things. So I've heard everything from Mephisto to that Scarlet Witch might be an antagonist for a while and all this other stuff.
No, she's right though. I've seen it too. There's a ton of
crazy.
They put it out there. We're doing a movie, right? And then they kind of let they let it simmer.
And footage gets leaked.
And footage gets leaked, I think.
But yet nobody has ever stopped or arrested. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. That's exactly right.
This is really...
All right, so we got Uncanny X-Men 230. Presumed grade of 8.5, and we have that tonight at $10.
These are great deals on these books because I know a lot of people have like certain issues and then they're just missing a couple. So it's like, it's a great time to snag these to fill in collections of books you might be missing.
No, agreed.
Yeah,
and Joe L says he heard it's the Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts. You know what? Nice, man. I'll be fine with the Jack of Hearts.
So pretty much the rumor mill is just churning over.
No, you know what, though? I guess one of the reasons I give a tiny little bit of credence to that particular rumor is Marvel also went out of their way to snag the comic book rights for Predator and Aliens.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, even by Claremont's own admission, the Brood are aliens. Right? They're sort of his take on it.
Yes.
They're aliens without being aliens. So I could almost see there's sort of we've already had the alien version of different comic books that have been done by different Dynamic Forces and others. That's sort of out there. You know what I mean? I think at some point, I mean, you never say never, right? Because if there's money to be in it, but I could very, very easily see the cover of a book, and I know this has all been done back in the 90s but I could very easily see a sort of Predator, Alien, Spider-Man book.
And Ron just looked up his Silvestri signatures, and he thinks it is Mark Silvestri that signed that one. So thank you, Ron.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Ron.
It
looks familiar. I mean, I haven't collected signatures in a while. I had a bunch of Silvestri Shadowhawk stuff way
You're
back.
getting all your stuff for free.
No, back then I used to pay like a
back
mark for
then.
stuff.
No, I mean now. That's why you stopped collecting signatures, because we won't give you the signed stuff for free.
Have you not seen my car?
I try not to, because then I get called.
I know, right? Oh no, I'm going to be on the news. This is part 3 of 3 Glory Day.
So
this
that's
is a
234.
This is a really cool, Claremont story where he kind of comes back and he does. This is Silvestri art again.
All right, so Uncanny X-Men 234, presumed grade of 6.5, and we have this one for $5.
I mean, this is like Skylar said, this is a great way for people who are missing issues.
Yeah, to
you know
fill
what I
in
mean?
your collection.
Somebody has to work overtime and they miss it at the store and they forget about it. This is a great.
And I also will say too, Chris Claremont's been doing shows. I just went to Dragon Con, was it a week or 2 weeks ago, and he was there signing books, and it's like the perfect time to get your book signed too, since he started doing shows again. I got to talk to him at a Washington Comic-Con I did, and cool. I got him to sign some books and stuff, and he was flipping through the book, like telling me about his ideas behind each book, and it was so cool to actually have that like time to talk with him and him tell me some of his favorite moments.
It's like $500 back then.
No doubt, right?
Back then, you just used to be able to talk to creators.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, you can talk to creators now. Many of them are very interactive on social media. Like they'll happily tell you what their thinking was. Like you'll name a book.
Yeah.
A big person for that is Gail Simone. You'll ask Gail, like, "Hey, what were you thinking?"
John definitely knows, because they message him back. Stop messaging me.
I'm followed by some creators. I think they have to follow me if they do Dynamite, because they want to get paid. But I'm super fortunate that some creators, they follow back, and you can sort of have an interaction. Now, Dave Avalon, on the other hand, is probably about this close to a restraining order, because at least I involve Dave writing.
He's probably telling you, John, you should do a show every night.
You know what he's
too busy.
Dave's in the lawyer's office right now going, it's him. It's him.
It's him. 5-0 rolls up all of a sudden, and the show stops. You know why?
It's Collectibles with Rex and Skylar. We've had everything on this show. We have had tornado warnings.
That one night, that was crazy.
We've had delivery guys bomb in. We've had the wrong books, the wrong prices. Some idiot wearing a Batman mask. It is not.
Delivery guy blocking the camera.
Delivery guy, and he didn't do it for like a minute. He blocked the camera for like 3 minutes.
All right, I think we got to go to a break. Skylar, can you stay with us?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So let's go to break.
All right.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
And we're back, and we have Skylar with us tonight, and Bruce Wayne.
I'll have to put the mask on you for the end of the show.
Did you see that part, Skylar? Were you watching it?
I briefly saw it because I was trying to jump into to StreamYard, and I was like, wait, is he wearing a Batman mask? That's kind of amazing.
The best thing about I want to say it's the best thing about our show, but we spent 2 hours just talking about everything under the sun. So we have to ask now, okay? Because every time we have a guest, we have to ask this question. What part of the country are you from, Skylar?
I am from North Carolina, so a lot of times I get my accent. People are like, you're from the South, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm from North Carolina.
I can hear it a little bit, but not really that much. But
it's not, I think North Carolina, not that it's not the South, but it's almost like a little bit more mid-Atlantic. Like I agree with that. Not to be horrible, but I've spoken to people on the phone from like Mississippi, and I have to ask them to repeat things. And I know that sounds terrible, but the Southern drawl or whatever is so heavy that far south. I don't understand what you want me to do. Like I'll do it, but I'm
with this, right, John?
Where
do we always go?
Oh, food.
What is the quote-unquote signature dish in your area?
Like barbecue, I would think.
I would have to say, yes, barbecue. I grew up actually more eastern of North Carolina, and my whole family is very, very southern. I grew up with the cornbread, the pulled pork, all that stuff, and they actually had a farm too. And honestly, what's helped with my accent, because even when I went to Washington, people are like, where are you from? I hear an accent. But I worked in a law firm for 7 years. So I had to, when I spoke on the phone to people, be like very clear about what I was saying, especially I dealt with Social Security and numbers. And if I was slang, people wouldn't be able to understand me. So I think having a job in that for 7 years kind of helped have a little more clarity with speaking with people. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, you actually put something on the chat board. My laptop screen is too small, so I have to lean forward like an old man to be able to read something.
Nick, we need a plasma screen.
That's what I said.
At least 40 inches.
Respond when we said that repeatedly. It's okay. We obviously just need to say it more.
If we have a spot, I might be able to get a television.
Who?
We have a spot for it. If we had an office for the studio.
Maybe we could do that. All right.
Or Mariano.
We should.
Right in the right room again.
So what do you want to do next?
Well, you know what? I got a request from my friend David, watching on Twitter.
Okay.
For
you to
David, this is for you. I will put on the mask. We will do
like I got to do it.
I feel like I got to do it. Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
Skyler, next week, and he'll have the entire suit on.
No, I don't give that much.
You should ask Nick if I can cosplay. He's just come on and full cosplay.
Ask Nick anything. If you want to cosplay, you be you, Skylar. This is what I've been telling John since the very first show.
Decisions like that, Nick is a figurehead. You can cosplay as much as you'd like.
I can't even look
I have a Dark Phoenix outfit and the red hair, the wig and everything. Just come on as the Dark Phoenix.
All right. So what we'll do is I'll email you. We'll plan a cosplay show with John. I don't do cosplay. Okay. I might make a baseball cap, but that's about it.
Just bring some Wolverine claws.
I want Hulk hands.
Oh my God. I noticed this when I came in. This is so nice. This is New York Comic Con. This is the ultra limited black foil Dark Knight Returns #1.
So Scott. Just so you know, Skylar, John is not a huge Batman fan.
I am not.
So if he says he likes the Batman title, that means it's a pretty good comic.
Well, I'm pretty excited about. We've talked a little bit about Batman Beyond. I guess what T-Pain bought the Batman Beyond.
Yes.
I think we're going to see a very cool, because we've seen different versions of Batman real recently. We've seen, the kind of Jokerized version of Batman. Yes. We've seen Lucas Fox's Batman, which is kind of like a very cool. And then I don't know. First he was Batwing, and then he was Batman Next or something. Like a bunch of different versions of Batman running around. This is.
Oh, we got Spencer back here.
Oh, right. Spencer.
Somebody I've known way too long. That's cute, Spencer. That's cute.
What did he say? He wants to that?
No, I think America wants to see you in the French maid's outfit there, Spencer.
No. Oh my gosh, no.
Well, you have an open invitation to join us next week for our cosplay. You'll be Captain French Maid or something. Right?
I will not be here that week.
Don't hold your Batman mask. You won't have to see anything.
This is a CTC grade 9/8. This is the New York Comic Con black foil version.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to let people see it, and it's really might be the hardest book we've ever had to show people.
Yeah, because it's so dark.
Because of how it is, and I just don't think.
Yeah.
I you know what?
So the lightning gives it that highlight.
Up there.
Yeah, it's got that kind of metallic. So if you know the cover, it's not coming across very well. But if you know the cover, the black foil cover, Dark Knight Returns #1, ultra limited black foil, New York Comic Con variant, CGC graded 9.8, and it has no trade dress on it. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have it tonight for $100, and we have the one.
Yeah, that's a sweet deal. We do the unmasking again. That's enough of that.
It's hard to look you in the face when you get that thing on, dude.
But I wanted to throw it on. I wanted my friend Dave to see that. You know what, Dave? I will, if we don't sell it before we go off the air, I'll take a picture and text it to you.
What? This one?
Yeah.
Actually, we can send you the image. We have a scan or a photographed image.
Dave, if you're,
Amy,
Dave, if you're still watching, we'll get it for you a little bit later.
On the Dark Knight Returns #1, ultra limited black foil, graded 9.8. Could you send that image in an email to John, if you wouldn't mind? Thank you. And then John will send it to his buddy. And if nobody claims it tonight, or if your buddy wants to claim it tonight.
And I've talked to Dave before. He's watched the show before. He knows how it is.
Okay.
If it doesn't sell,
Thanks for watching, Dave, by the way. This way.
We have people that watch, so like somebody will watch on Twitter, right?
Right.
And I almost feel bad because like we don't get to see their comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, I guess that's like
you can keep your Twitter feed open.
You know what? I try to check, and then you make fun of me for looking at my phone.
John, I'm going to make fun of you no matter what it is we're doing. I mean, that's part of the shtick.
I will say, right? I will say this though: at $100, that cover is, if you're a Batman fan, I mean, it is black foil. I mean, that is sort of your, that's your cue.
And you're guaranteed because we only have the one.
We only have the one.
It's guaranteed to get the 9.8.
It's the NYCC variant at 9.8. I mean, that is just $100. If you're in that market of slabbed books, that's a nice score. That's a real nice score.
Amy.
What?
So what do you want to do next?
Who wanted to know? Do we have?
Did we do?
Did we not have somebody ask about a reader's pack?
So we have the reader's pack that we've been running for a while. All right, and I think Ron, you may have picked up.
Was it Ron?
Ron, I believe, picked up one from a previous show. So it's the same reader's pack that we're going to do. 10 Dynamite titles for $5. And because you already got one, we'll mix it up for you, Ron.
Yeah, you'll get a different one.
We'll make sure your package is different.
This is sort of our.
But yeah, and we're going to probably run this on multiple shows. It's our way to kind of introduce Dynamite if you're not reading Dynamite titles. Obviously, John is a great ambassador. I mean, he literally comes here and loves Dynamite titles, and we have a lot of fun.
And for the leftover Chinese food, that's cold in an hour.
I probably not. Next week, okay? And you know where the good stuff is, and we'll make them watch us eat that.
This
so
is
join
killer.
Us, okay?
I'll tell you right now, I absolutely love that cover.
So this is
Cool.
all right. Got it, Ron. We will get you one of the 10. Oh, we do have the 10-pack here.
The cool thing about that is you can get introduced to so many new stories and everything, and just kind of get back into the swing of comics.
Yes. Well, Ron's a long-time collector. I think he put early in the chat that he buys these and he gives them to his nephews for Christmas. And at $5, that's a bargain. We won't tell anybody, Ron, because I'm afraid your wife will come here and stun us.
This we had the. Do we have the black and white version, or do we have the blood red version of this last week on the show?
I thought we had the blood red version.
We had the blood red version. And I've said this before, if there is a criminally overlooked and underrated book in comics, it is Peter Cannon. No, it's Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. For people who like Ozymandias, for people who like that sort of character,
right?
Peter Cannon Thunderbolt is... Most people know that Watchmen were based on Charlton characters. Ozymandias is based on Peter Cannon Thunderbolt.
And Ron, go ahead and email me if you are really giving these as gifts to your nephews on Christmas. Let me know if there are particular titles you want to mix in there. I can't guarantee issues, but I might be able to help you with certain titles since you bought more than one that you're looking for. All right, buddy? But yeah, definitely shoot me an email and we'll look to try to hook you up there. So what do you want to do next?
Did you guys do the Amazing Spider-Man books yet?
Which one?
I think you guys had some signed by John Romita Sr., I think.
Yes, we have two. We have the...
This is Amazing Spider-Man 544 variant edition. One More Day, signed and remarked with a little sketch by John Romita Sr.
I think that might actually be the set, so there's actually more in
I think there is more in here.
All right, so this is the Amazing Spider-Man 4-book set. Let me see, is it remarked?
It is.
Okay.
It's signed and remarked by
John Romita Sr.
one of the architects of the Marvel Universe.
And it is a match number set. So all 4 issues will be number 16. All right, so let's see here. So it includes Amazing Spider-Man number 544, One More Day, part 1 of 4. And each one of these is signed and remarked by John Romita Sr. Let's see. Then we have, and it comes with a remarked Spidey head sketch, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 24, One More Day, part 2 of 4. Also signed and remarked by John Romita Sr. Sensational Spider-Man number 41, part 3 of 4 of One More Day. And Amazing Spider-Man number 545, part 4 of 4 of One More Day. And again, all 4 are signed and remarked by John Romita Sr. And obviously, this is a pricier kit or set with 4 remarked and signed John Romita Sr. Covers. Suggested retail is $1,196.20. We have one set available for $1,000 tonight. And this is probably something we can do as a payment plan.
I would think you could probably do. I think you could probably do.
We can do 4 payments.
You can do 4 payments.
Well,
so
the awesome.
It says 4 payments.
Well, the awesome thing about those books is the fact that, if you're a big Spider-Man fan, John Romita Sr. doesn't really do hardly any signings anymore, and he's definitely not doing conventions anymore. And to have a signature from somebody who is just so legendary and has a remark, that's awesome. It might seem like a lot of money, but as someone who is a hardcore Spider-Man fan,
right,
that is a one-of-a-kind thing. You could definitely have bragging rights for in your collection. So,
and we forgot to give Ken, in our excitement of having something John Romita signed, we forgot to give Ken Hazer his credit. Ken Hazer is all over this board, so I think Ken would understand our apology. He's on half the board we have here. He has a very cool little sketch on here as well. At $1,000, we could probably do, I think Nick said 4 payments.
Yes.
For this. This is not your your $5 read. This is not your $5 read. This is for sort of the more advanced collector, we'll say, someone who's, a little bit more experienced. The Spider-Man fan, like Stylish said, for sure.
Spencer jumped in on the chat.
He would like to buy it?
So Spencer, who represents John Romita Sr. and Jr. Through Artist Choice, he says, let's see, He's not drawing anymore at all and closed the studio. So, I mean, you know, John Romita Sr. is more or less.
Yeah, and he's rarely signing. And real quick, we charge $500 a signature usually. This is the old price, but today, if that was a new item, it would be $2,000.
Yeah.
Plus the sketch money.
So basically, your old little piece of history.
And power.
You know?
And power.
Yeah, power. But yeah, I mean, Nick brought up a really good point too. This is like an old price.
Right.
The general rule of thumb, and Dynamic Forces isn't like cast in stone, but the general rule of thumb, especially people who are kind of familiar with the brand, signature like that's about $500.
Right.
And there's 4 books, not to mention the Ken Hazer remark, the facts that the things that Spencer brought up.
Right.
That, you know, John has essentially turned off the light at his drawing station. He's done. He's reached the last page in the sketchbook. He's enjoying his life, and well, he should. He's part of, he's one of the architects of the Marvel Universe.
So here's the best part. Ron says, I'm not sure if Nick told you guys, but I don't read comics, so I would have no idea what is good or bad, what is good or not, and what the storylines are. I trust you guys to send something cool. So, Ron, do you just do this to make your wife angry and stun you? I mean, are you into that?
Maybe it's even cooler than that. Maybe there's no wife. Maybe it's like a split personality thing.
Maybe he's Batman.
No. Oh my God.
You can have the mask.
The Two-Face.
Two-Face, I like that.
Oh, man.
Let's see. What else do we want? You know what? I get a rash when we don't do stuff for.
All right. You get a rash. America did not need to know that.
No, when we don't do stuff that's Dynamite, I'm not particularly happy.
So let's do something
This
Dynamite.
is Chaos #1. Really cool. This is Mirka Andolfo, who right now absolutely killing it with Red Sonja, written by Tim Seeley. This is Chaos's 20th anniversary, and I think the 10th anniversary with Dynamite. Great sketch here. Purgatory.
Chaos #1, signed and remarked by Katie Hidalgo. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it tonight for $19.93. The year Chaos launched, and we have the 1.
And do we know the prices?
$19.93.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just said that? I'm sorry. I zoned out. I'm having trouble seeing this many comics on the board.
Maybe the mask was a little too tight.
It was. I don't see any Doc Savage on here. I have to have a word for it.
There is no Green Hornet, my friend. Sorry.
You know, I don't even see like Lone Ranger though. What the?
It was Piss Off John Day. Did it work?
No. I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm super glad to help Nick.
We thank
Rex get this stuff out there.
We thank John. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. He's a true Dynamite fan. John and I, we have a lot of fun. I mean, there are plenty of shows out there, and there are a lot of good ones. But you got guys that are just flashing comic after comic, and that's okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
That is to me, that is heavy shopping, that type of thing. But John and I, we have more fun than anything else because a different kind of show, if you will.
If we don't make them laugh, we don't get our Chinese.
We don't get it anyway.
I know, right?
So Spencer, okay. So Spencer's active tonight. He must be bored. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Listen to
Skylar.
Space. Spencer Space, okay? He knows her. S-H-I, yeah?
Yeah, we know.
Night, y'all. Does somebody want to explain to Spencer when you type in all caps, you're yelling at us?
He does that to me, so I'm like, at this point, it's just normal.
Yeah, I remember when we were young men.
We're talking about comics.
Why are you yelling at me?
I thought I'd throw this up here just sort of to mix up the Batmaning of the show. IDW had this cool one-shot, Garbage Pail Kids. I can't even say this with a straight face. Gross Encounters of the Third Kind. If you're of a certain age, Garbage Pail Kids were sort of these stickers.
Yes.
It's hard to explain.
I think we were a little bit older when that came out.
I would just say Google it rather than listen to my terrible explanation. What you do have is a really cool Ken Hazer remark. I think Hillary Bard is cool. Art in the interior here. It's really nice.
So, Garbage Pail Kids, Gross Encounters of the Third Kind #1, signed and remarked. What are you, 5? With an alien Alien Ian sketch by Ken Hazer. Our suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we have the one for $49.99.
I mean, it's just like a very neat little. There's an owner for this book. I don't know if we're getting him or her tonight.
I feel like Garbage Pail Kids have been making a comeback because I feel like any of that nostalgia kind of like era of like kid stuff is just because I saw somebody posted like a trading card online for like $400 and something, I think, and so like. You know, you never know, especially having an original sketch on the cover from Ken Heiser, because his art's amazing, like how that might be worth something, like in no time, you know?
Yeah.
So even worth more.
Yeah, John and I talk about this all the time is, you know, since the pandemic, we've seen just collectibles of all types, not just comic related, you know, sports trading cards, collectibles, all kinds of things, just shoot up in value. And now you have, you know, large Wall Street firms getting involved, jumping in, buying out CGC, PSA,
you know what?
things like that.
I don't want to get too esoteric or philosophical here, but people are sort of simultaneously looking inward because of the pandemic, things are closed, social distancing or whatever, but they still want to be connected, right? So you've got, you know, like zillion times much higher use of bandwidth. Twitter, people are on this stuff all day. They want to stay in touch, even though they're sort of being suggested to stay apart until they get like a better handle on, you know, vaccines and medicines and, you know, like to figure out how to keep people safe and healthy. So I think baseball cards, all these things people are rediscovering.
It's the same thing with, they just re-released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Playmates figures. They were Walmart exclusives. They're only $12.99 figures, but people went in and bought them up, and now they're flipping them online for $50 a pop. And it's like, it's crazy, like, because it's a form of nostalgia and people want to get back into that and, like, you know, kind of experience their childhood again and stuff. So, and that kind of translates to comics as well, just being able to buy something that gives you that good feeling all over again.
Well, there's absolutely that. There's also absolutely, I think people are looking for, and again, you know, we don't get too serious on the show, but people are looking for, I know, right? People are looking for distractions from the news of the day, the weather report of the day. I mean, it almost seems like people are like doom scrolling to find out whether there's some political corruption scandal, there's some financial upheaval. Oh, look, here comes like a flaming Sharknado at us. You know what I mean? It seems like in this information age, there's a lot of like, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, to touch on what Skylar said, I think people are trying to reconnect to whether it was really simpler or perceived to be simpler, just a simpler time. You know what I mean? Where, you know, that, I talked about this a little bit when we talked about X-Men 234. I saw this book and it took me right back to the parking lot of the LCS I used to frequent at the time. And we had this massive conversation, and this thing lasted hours. I remember the guy coming out, locking up, being like, "You guys are still out here?" And we were arguing whether the Brood's ability to metastasize its victims would be offset by Wolverine's healing factor.
Right.
And this had to be like 7 hours of our life. We, you know, like we went and got food, and we were eating on the hoods of our cars and trucks and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? It was just a very different sort of 1988, how old the story is. I remember I had a pager, and I would get beeped when people, you know, clients wanted me. I was having so much fun that day. I took the battery out of the pager, and I just kind of left it there on the console of my truck. And you know, if I remember correctly, we ordered like hot dogs, and everybody started talking, having this great time. The guy who works at the comic book store is like, "Go home, live your life. What are you doing?" And it was funny coming from him. You know what I mean? A couple of years later, I remember he was doing an online interview.
So I remember pagers. You remember why you would text someone 01134?
Oh yeah, hello. It was like hello, and a whole bunch of there's a bunch of goofy stuff. Oh
my Lord, I feel old now.
Once they went to alphanumeric pagers, that's when the fun started. Because people could text you simple words.
So Sheldon said he bought the Batman 66 book from us last week because the preview panel it looked like the preview panel on his local Saturday morning show, Batman's episodes in the 80s. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
it's a lot of this is nostalgia. That's what's fun.
Well, it's calling back to a time when things weren't quite so. You know what I mean? Like your favorite foods are killing you. You know what I mean? Like everything is there's like a warning label on everything, and I think it makes people. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it makes people like a little bit anxious, and so that's why you're sort of getting people that are happily to. I'm listening to my podcast because I know a good friend of mine on Twitter. She's like, I listen to my true crime podcast. I know we're going to be discussing someone that's been murdered. I could like focus on just that one person solving a murder from like the 70s or whatever, body found in the park. The rest of the day is just this sort of influx of news, not all of it good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people are kind of like, hey, let me grab my comics. Let me grab, whatever. I mean, somebody told me, and I would have to verify this, but I was told vintage board games. There's a market for board games.
Yes, absolutely. I found out one recently that I have is out of print completely. The company lost the rights to it. And if you can get your hands on one I have, I had no idea that it went for over $400 online. So wow. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. And it's that way with figures. Like I kept a lot of my stuff, and I'm a big video game person too. Video games and comics were always my thing that kind of took me away from reality for a bit. And even at a young age, I was a collector, and I kept all the boxes to my consoles.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a kid because I actually had to like cut grass or babysit or something for new consoles or whatever. Right. So when I actually got one, I kept the box and everything. I was like, I am not messing this thing up.
Well, that turned out to be a good call, didn't it?
That's a real collector. Real collectors want the, you know what I mean? The average kid, maybe they just grab their video game, chuck the box, bang it into the console, and they go. The real collector is seeing this as a wall of collection of every version of Final Fantasy.
Well, I think she was just a really neat kid.
Well, it's probably
I used to tear the box and throw it behind me. It'll like if I go out, my mom will pick it up and it'll disappear off my bedroom floor.
But those X-Men books, like the ones we were showing earlier, that's a great price for those, because I remember I just loved X-Men growing up because I was always the girl who was really into all the nerdy stuff. I had an older brother. And he got me kind of into it, and it kind of just, I remember I'm like, oh, show me your comics, because they were his, and to get those at a price for somebody to be able to add those to their collection of ones they might be missing, like that's just, it's a great deal on those,
It's a great opportunity, you're right. So
when we come back, I think we have to go to break, right? Our last break?
Yeah, we do.
When we come back, we are going to, and I'm just going to throw these up here for now, we are going to have a very cool, this is the Batman show. We are going to discuss something very, very cool. Jay Lee sort of really just going nuts on blank variants with Batman. And if you've seen Jay Lee's work, wow.
He's amazing.
So, he decides to do some remarks and signatures. When we come back from our break, we are going to discuss that a little bit. Okay, so we'll be back in 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is.
3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's a long half dozen.
Stay with us, Skylar, if you can.
Yes, absolutely.
There's something for everyone.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
In this state used to have 5, 6, 7 people.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're talking about hot dogs.
We are talking about hot dogs today. Wildwood, New Jersey, Maui Dogs. They've been featured on Food Network. Owner's a good dude, known him for years through the food industry. Brings you your food in a dog bowl. Everyone is treated the same. Right, like a block off the boardwalk. We were talking about how he closed early and his hours were limited because, like a lot of people, they couldn't find help.
Right.
Yeah.
And that sort of leads me to, we're asking people, of course, to support your LCS, right?
Yes.
Local comic shops are sort of like, and I'm going to get a little philosophical here, but local comic book shops are the soil that this hobby grows in. You know what I mean? You've got the creators who kind of plant the seeds, and then they put them out there in the soil, and hopefully they grow. And the fans are the ones who sort of till the soil and reap the benefit of, you know, all these books from the last 60, 70, 80 years, whatever it is. Well, local comic book shops, half of them have closed in the 21st century. Half. I mean, that's not like an opinion. There's, you know, hard evidence. Half of them have closed. In just the last 18 months, it's about another 100 have closed. We really are urging people to kind of support their local comic book stores. They need your support. They've been there for you. They work very hard. They work on margins that are not astronomically high. So please, you know, hit up your LCS. If you've got a pull list, pick up your books. Reach out through either social media or email to the operator, the owner and operator. Find out if what their restrictions are. It's different in every state, right?
Right.
Some states it's pick up only. Other states, I've spoken to some dealers where they're finding it easy to mail books to people. Literally, UPS comes in on New Comic Book Day.
Right. Takes
Hundreds of boxes go out from the pull list. Other states, no worries. Go in the store, and it's sort of like, you know, take your chances. You know, you just, you know, you go in, and what it is what it is.
Right.
They really could use your support. And
That's absolutely correct. I mean, Ultimate and small businesses. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fun
businesses,
here, but there's a serious component to this.
Yeah.
We're trying to get these books out to people, whether it's our reader packs or it's the discounted stuff, or it's the really kind of cool, unique thing like we're going to talk about in a minute, Batman, Superman, J-Leg covers. We're trying to get people like reignite that passion, re-engage people who've sort of drifted away. I mean, there's a ton of things now. Multi-billion-dollar industry has sprung up around comics, but comics themselves haven't had the same growth level. Haven't had the same growth level as, you know, a guy like me saw Avengers Endgame in the movie theater 16 times. I had someone say, no, I didn't. What I did was I actually...
I believe you did.
I posted all the ticket stubs. Like, they were on one...
I question your sanity a little bit, but other than that,
I saw Black Panther, I think 11 or 12 times in the theater, and then of course the day they're available, I buy them. I just, it's my thing.
And you wonder why he's here with you.
I always tell people too, no matter if they're cosplaying or if they're enjoying the shows, the movies, I tell them, think about like where it comes from. It comes from these creators. It comes from the comics. Because one of the things I always tell people, like, because I've worked conventions for years, I'm like, if you're cosplaying this character, go up to them, tell them what it means to you, that you're literally cosplaying this character because you love it so much. Because if it wasn't for that creator, if it wasn't for that comic book, you wouldn't have this character. That's
actually a very good point. I mean, we John and I have touched on this before, is that it seems like they run out of scripts that seem to work for movies where people are going into actually watching movies. It's not to say that the material is not out there, but the general public doesn't seem to be drawn to it. No, but I think people
almost break this up into, and I've seen movie reviewers do this. There's a movie reviewer, I think on MSNBC, it comes up on my wife's sort of startup page or whatever, and she's like, is this a movie you should skip? Is this a movie you should go to the theater to see? Or is this a movie you should wait to stream at home when it's on one of the services? Right. And when you have that sort of mindset, there's going to be a movie where it's a gripping drama about a lawyer against a big company or whatever, one of these stories, a doctor trying to save someone's life. Sure, there'll be people that'll go to the movie to see it. Most won't. Most are like, that's a stay-home day. It's snowing. I jump on the couch with, hot cocoa, and I watch these heart-wrenching movies. I watch The Serial Killer.
And I can pause it when I
do it, and I can pause it, whatever. Seeing something like Black Panther or Avengers Endgame, you kind of need to see that in IMAX or RPX or whatever format is available
11 times.
At least 11 times.
At least 11 times.
And people are like, oh my God, isn't that hundreds of dollars? Yes, it's absolutely hundreds of dollars. For me, it's simply a matter of putting my money where my mouth was. When I was a kid, I used to say all the time, if they made movies about stuff that I liked, I would go see it over and over again. So they made their money. And so they took me up on my offer. So for 30 years, it's been Star Trek and Star Wars and superhero movies. And I can't even remotely accurately estimate how many thousands of dollars I've spent in movie theaters.
And with that, let's segue to the Star Wars set that we have.
I was going to say, we have a that's a great segue. We have a Star Wars set.
I think it might be under there.
And I just thought it would be
in a bag with, oh, it's right there.
It is right here.
We have to cut this list down, brother.
We do have to cut this list down.
All right, so let me find it here.
You know what? Give us 1 second. Ooh, there's some really cool stuff in here too.
Everybody give John 1 second while he Googles the package.
So I am Googling the package, but I'll tell you right now, I almost feel like I should keep this. This is so cool.
You say that about everyone except Batman.
Yeah, you can bill me.
All right, so this is a Star Wars Marvel Megamix. Star Wars #1, exclusive black and white variant by Dale Keown. You got it there? All right.
I got to tell you, Dale Keown's Chewbacca is not the Chewbacca I knew I needed, but now I do.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Darth Vader #1, Scotty Young variant, signed by Scotty Young.
I love Scotty Young. I love his work.
I do. I love
I do not like to see Lord Vader presented in this way, like at all.
Come on. All right. And then,
but it's excellent. It's really cool. And the little sort of lightsaber, the little stormtroopers, I mean.
And then you have Princess Leia #1, action figure variant, CGC graded 9.6.
These things are too cool.
So we have one set available. Suggested retail of all 3 items is $199.97, and we have it tonight for $77.
That's a great deal for all those books.
It is. Star Wars #1, exclusive black and white variant by Dale Keown. Darth Vader #1, Scotty Young variant, signed by Scotty Young, and the Princess Leia #1 action figure variant, CBC graded.
Yeah, it's slab. It's 9.6. I mean, that's sort of
the whole set for $77.
I would very much say to someone, if you were a Star Wars fan, your time has come.
Well, it's covers
I'm actually
everything.
going to leave this here.
Out of print issue, signed comic, and then a graded comic. So hit the trifecta.
Well, I always urge everyone to go to cons, go to shows. Skylar and I talked about this a long time ago about, going to cons and going to shows. However, when you try to get something slabbed and graded, you're trying to find chase books. There's a lot involved in that. Cons are expensive, shows are expensive. When you're dealing with comic retailers, and I don't mean this in a negative way, these are professionals, and this is how they pay their bills and feed their families.
Right.
They're in the business to sell you something you want. They're not in the business to sort of hear your sob story about how your mom threw this comic book away and now you need it and you only have $8 and it's a $200 book.
That's why you come here, so I can hear your sob story.
Well, I was going to say the cool thing, too, about having one already slabbed like that one, too, I know, or I have been told, CGC and CBCS are all behind right now, too, on trying to get those books out and get them to people. And to be able to buy one that's already slabbed and to be able to appreciate it. And because I have a couple of slabbed books that I, show people and they're signed, but I love them because of what they are, and to be able to look at them as a collector and be like, I'm glad I have this book and I have it safe, So
yeah, I mean, there are people. I'm sure you have the same thing. So there are people who I interact with on social media. They sent books. They sent books to be graded, like St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, and they still don't have their books back. And they get these emails like, "Oh, hey, we're going to get to you. We're going to get to you. We're overwhelmed. We don't have enough people."
Same problem, staffing.
Same problem, staffing, volume. A lot of states, again, you're not allowed to have everybody come back to work or whatever. You can't really virtually grade a book. I mean, yeah, sure, every book looks great on camera. Be packed correctly. There's a cost to ship it, send it back, or whatever.
And there's no guarantee what grade you're getting.
There's no guarantee what grade it's going to be. You're sort of rolling the dice maybe a little bit. Like I said, I saw a book earlier that's a 5. It could easily come back as a 4. Yeah, sure, maybe it come back as a 6, but the odds are much more likely it will come back lower than higher. Essentially, the way this works is you claim a book. Jerry pops a link in the comments. You click the link, you fill out the submission form, Rex sends you your book. It is very just a straightforward process. You do not have to run around, check your private mailbox so that your significant other doesn't know you're spending tens of thousands of dollars.
Talking to you,
Ronald. You know what I mean? And if you don't have a private mailbox, Ronald, you should, because man, those cattle prods are going to catch up in a hurry.
Well, I've even got books from you guys, and they've always arrived safe and everything and effectively. So I, definitely jump on these books and get them because, like I said, with CGC and CBCS being behind, you can get a slab book right now for a awesome grade, and that it's going to arrive safely and everything. So
no, very, very well said.
And I've seen how you guys pack the books. I'm embarrassed. There have been times where you packed books that you could have just given me here. And literally this one thing, I don't know if it was a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever, but they mailed the book. And while that was super cool, it arrived about 2 hours before I just came over here. And I was like, man, you could have just left it on a desk or something. I would have picked it up.
They want to make sure you got it.
My point here is, like Skylar said, these things are very well packed.
All right.
Double and triple boarded, bagged, etc.
We got Ron. What are the books on the bottom shelf close to Bruce Wayne?
This is exactly what we were going to talk about.
Yes.
We have 3 of these, and we've talked about this before.
And we have all 3 out because each one is unique.
Yeah, Ken Hazer has done this. We've also seen, oh God, I can't think of her name. She did this too, where there's multiple it's the same character, but she does different takes on it. This is Jay Lee, Batman Superman #1. These are blank variants signed and remarked by Jay Lee. I'm just going to put these up here so you can sort of see the different takes.
It's awesome.
So, Batman Superman #1, the blank variant edition, signed and remarked by Jay Lee. Suggested retail of $299.99 each, and we have them tonight for $100 each, and we have 3. And you can see each remark is different.
Do me a favor here, hold this one up, and I'll hold these two. So for
I love Jay
all
Lee.
of those are so cool.
Yeah, I mean Jay Lee's work is just.
And not only that, he's such a nice guy. I have met him at several conventions and had several conversations with him. Just a really, really nice guy.
Ron, want to make sure that's what you were talking about.
Even
if it
the
was
guy's
something else, let us know.
signature is cool.
Yeah,
The
I know,
guy
right?
I mean, if you look at his signature, he even turns his signature into art.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
beautiful.
I thought it was a flourish, and then I'm like, oh, sorry, Jay, that's your signature.
So, okay. So those were the books Ron was looking at. So let's cover a few more because
Yeah, let's do.
We're
I mean,
getting
we're going
we're
to kind of
getting
stick
10
with
minutes out.
Batman. This is supposed to be a Batman show.
which one is that?
This is my favorite Batman villain. If I had to have one, best thing to me about Batman is Rogues Gallery. This is Mr. Freeze. This is
Is that Batman #51?
Yeah, Cold Days Part 1, Batman 51. This is signed by Tom King.
Suggested
Lee Weeks
retail
cover.
of $49.99, and we have this tonight for $19.39.
And that one, it comes with a COA as well. Is that right?
What?
Yeah, everything we've shown you tonight comes with, let me just see if I can sort of, comes with the hollow foil seal and the certificate of authenticity.
And are any of these books numbered by any chance? I know some of them you guys do number
Some of
them.
are,
This one is 1 of 45.
Okay.
We only did 45. One of the reasons I thought this was really cool, Tom King only signed 45 of these.
Right.
This is number 1 of 45.
Ooh, we have #1.
We have number 1 of 45. So if
We
someone,
have more than one for sale tonight, so
We
only
do,
one person
but-
can get the #1.
yeah, only one person's going to get the number 1. Next person will get the next number. But whoever sort of pulls the trigger first is getting number 1.
And it's always so cool to have those COAs in the back too, to have that signature verification and to know in case you're like, oh yeah, that's right, who signed this one? And you have that COA in the back, just verifying they did sign it. So and the hollow, I remember, if I remember correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the hollow foil seal too, you can actually remove that and put it back on if you wanted to read it, right?
correct.
You're absolutely right. They were designed to be removed so people could actually look at the comic. I mean, a lot of collectibles, I mean, when something is slabbed, it's slabbed. Kind of end of story, right? Now its life is spent in amber, just on your wall, being admired. For the people that need that more tactile experience, the hollow foil seal is designed, like Scholar referenced, to be removed.
John's using big words.
Nick always kind of suggests putting it on the side. I'll be honest, if I buy a really nice book, I just buy a reading copy because these hands are not real nimble. But for someone that
they're made for breakfast sandwiches.
these are made for breakfast. People that have a little bit more dexterity than I do, you just stick them on the side, read your book, enjoy it. Reattach the seal. They're designed for that. They're just not like stickers. People see the hollow foil on the back and they think it's like a sticker. It's not. It's a seal meant to be reused.
Should we hit
That's
the rest
awesome.
of the X-Men? What do you think?
You know what?
We have somebody asking if you can show the price on the X-Men. It's the 232, 233,
Let's see. You're looking for 232, 233, 234. All right, so 233.
232, 233, 234.
So 232.
He's looking for probably Earthfall, part 1 of 3. It's the Brood series.
All right, so 232 Sheldon is $20, and we believe signed by Mike Silvestri. And
Not Mark, Mike, his brother, the lesser known Sylvester.
Sorry. Presumed grade of 8.0, and we have that tonight for $20. And what was the other one? 233, which we haven't shown yet.
That one's 15.
That one is correct, Skylar. It is 15. It is presumed grade of 8.5. Let's see. And 234.
This is the book.
Oh, that's the bargain.
This is the book I
$5.
Yeah, presumed grade of 6.5, and we have it for $5 tonight, Sheldon.
That's
and we'll
awesome.
go through the rest of them for you as well. X-Men 235.
So wait a minute. What does that come to if he wants to?
I don't know. We'll do the math later.
So it's 20, 15, that's 35. And then 35 plus 5 is 40. So $40 altogether.
All right. So X-Men 235.
No, I just wanted to say I like this series a lot. This is like seminal 80s X-Men. If somebody buys all three, I will cover the $5 cost for this. So basically, you're just going to pay for 232 and 230.
Look at you.
Well, it's great. It's like seminal 80s
Daddy
X-Men.
Warbucks.
It's $5, but it's just sort of a little bit of a motivation to maybe make someone say, Earthfall is a great story.
Well, we've got, they're all reasonably priced tonight. So Uncanny X-Men number 236, presumed grade of 7.5. We have it $10 tonight. Then X-Men number 237. And we have that at $15 tonight with a presumed grade of 8.5.
Rick Leonardi, man, there was a period of time where Rick Leonardi he was putting in serious work, kind of like late 80s, early 90s.
I really love all these covers. They're just so great.
You could tell, man, I don't know if he was saving for a house or a new car, but man, they had that guy seriously working.
Uncanny X-Men number 238, presumed grade of 8.0, and we have that at $10 tonight.
This is the stage where I believe the X-Men was being published twice a month.
Yeah, I think so, right?
They could not push this book out fast enough. It had won awards. They had started the cartoon. I think they had signed the cartoon deal. They knew the X-Men, Spider-Man and the X-Men sort of led the way.
Before you get to that one, Sheldon claims 232, 233, and 234. So let's make sure
That's
we get
awesome.
that down.
It's the Earthfall series. And Sheldon, 234 is on me, bud.
That's awesome.
Sheldon, John's going to pick up, which one, 234?
234.
He's going to pick up 234 for you. You never bought me anything, but whatever.
He'll take you out later.
You've got Batman books up here. You're lucky I'm not charging you.
Do you ever want to see Green Hornet on this show again, my friend? Okay.
You know what?
Give me one of them Dad's Deli breakfast sandwiches.
I will go to my storage lot and pull out everything from Dynamite from like 2007, and that'll be the show.
I'd rather just go to Dad's Deli and get me that breakfast sandwich, okay? Please.
My storage lot.
Or the one that you made that one day at home. Oh man.
You know what? If we get Nick to do a morning show, we'll have to stop at Dad's and then have our sandwiches while we're doing the morning show.
Not before we do it at the
brewery.
The brewery. All right.
Skylar to come up for the brewery.
We're going to shoot at the brewery.
All our other contributors, all our YouTube friends will be up.
It'll be awesome. By this point in the show, we'll be slurring.
Especially some of the beer, they like 9.2, 8.8, man. All right. This is
239?
Yes, Prologue of Infinity.
So Uncanny X-Men number 239, presumed grade of 8.5, and we have it for $15 tonight. So there, we got through all the X-Men.
We got through all the X-Men stuff.
I feel like we accomplished something.
And we still have a couple minutes left. This is the Batman show, so we're going to sort of go out with...
Just got to remind yourself of that every now and again. This is the Batman show.
It's hard to keep it down, but this
is the Punchline book.
Which one is it?
This is an art germ variant, right?
Yeah. The Kubert School, if I remember correctly.
So it's by Art Germ. Batman number 92 Punchline variant by Art Germ. CGC graded 9.8 guaranteed. We have one suggested retail of $89.99, and tonight it's $50 for a 5-star book.
It's a great book, by the way. I actually have that one. I reread it again not that long ago, and I really love the story in it. And if I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's that one where her and Harley have like their first interaction with each other, and it's just really great. The story overall, and that cover is beautiful.
So just a reminder,
Punchline is one of these characters, like sort of doing like the John Stradamus thing. Punchline is one of these characters that's destined for bigger and better things, right? So, like I always like to tell people, buy her stuff now. We had other Punchline stuff.
Right.
A year or two from now, when they start talking about Punchline being an ongoing character in one of the various games or whatever, all the books that she's been in the 2019, 2020, they are going to be much more expensive. And then when Rex looks at you and says, you know, this book is $700, and you're like, what? Well, we have it now for $50.
If you're John, it's $1,400.
And I'm really surprised they haven't put out a Funko Pop or statue of her. I think it's coming, and I think she's going to be added to the games as well. So I'm really excited to see what they do with her character.
Collectability.
Yeah.
So I want to say to everybody out there, if you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for spending your evening with us.
For sure.
Remember to like, you know, depending on whether you're watching us on Facebook,
friend,
YouTube,
follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when Nick is ordering his dinner, which means we have to go to work.
We appreciate all the new viewers and obviously our
regulars.
Standby.
We appreciate Skylar for joining us.
Ron, we appreciate Skylar. Thanks for joining us.
All our guests to take a time out. I mean, you know, sitting through 2 hours of this isn't not that much fun for everybody but us. So,
well, hey, it's all about me, John. If I'm having fun, then it's all good, brother.
We can have other people, you know. You know, they can contribute. They sort of have their unique viewpoints and perspectives, and that makes it more interesting for everybody else.
And to keep us from going off on a tangent.
Well, I mean, they know it's kind of like us being like middle-aged, you know, Garth and Wayne. You know, just kind of sitting here talking about munchies and food.
Who's Garth? Who's Wayne, though?
I think you're Garth. I'm sorry, man. I think you're Garth.
What?
I think you're Garth. I'm sorry.
This is not going to go down well. So join us next week for Comic Collectibles with Rex and No John.
Everybody.
Okay.
Thank you to people.
Skylar's welcome to come back.
I know.
But John, you're out.
Thanks so much for joining us, Skylar.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Join us again.
Have a great night. Take us out, Terry.
See you guys.